from my perspective as a sound designer, I can tell you that having properly placed sounds with corresponding volumes and stereo width and panning and all that stuff to create that sense of directionality for people in these 360 experiences is really important for some of those like audio cues and, bypassing some of the text instructions like you were talking about earlier by using pictures, draw the user to areas using sound cues. Can you guys talk a little bit about how you went about building in sound design elements for plants and limitations or considerations that went into that?
You should take it on the catching bugs.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, so I'll say, like, first of all, like, plants isn't very big. So the sound design is like you have a little cube that is your sound that you pull out of a menu and you drop it somewhere in the world. They have a few sliders for like volume and pitch and like, is this a looping sound? Does it play on world start? It's not Fmod. You can't import audio to the world. As a 3P creator, a lot of that audio comes from like a menu that like Horizon provides, and like that's where the music in plants is from. It's just like from the stock menu. We do use a lot of audio for like to notify players when something they've done has had an impact on the world. Like when you pull the trigger and you're holding a watering can, like you hear like a water stream sound, and then when the water like hits something, the stream sound stops and you hear a splash noise. Right. The sort of the bug noise thing that Jelitza is referring to. So because going through 2D UIs is really annoying, a lot of times when I'm programming, what I'll do is I'll just pull out a little recording gizmo and I'll make a noise as like a placeholder, because I need the audio feedback to make sure it's working. And I just I was designing the noise for when you catch a bug, and the intention was like I wanted to have like a whoosh, like a net sound, but I did a search, I couldn't find it right away, so I was just like, I'll deal with this later. I'm just going to record a noise. I hit the recorder and I said, wah. And so I'm in there in the world, and part of the great part about Horizon Worlds is the collaborative world building. You can like all sort of be working on the project together. I'm in there testing out the bug catching mechanic, and they just keep hearing that here, wah, wah. And they're like, what is that? It's just a placeholder sound, but
and we loved it.
Yeah. I was like, don't worry, guys, I'm going to replace it. And they said, no, you're not.
So falling into bugs in the very beginning during my gray boxing process, once I had brought in some mesh elements, I started bringing out some sound gizmos and stuff. And for like the water, I really wanted the experience of really hearing that waterfall, going, but not too harsh, not too distracting even. I just wanted it to be a little more on the serene side of things. I definitely paid attention a lot to that detail. And now as far as like the atmospheric part of it, I really wanted to hear those bugs sing. I wanted to know that in the space there is life, even though you don't see them yet, you really can hear the little crickets, the little cicadas. I mean, you really wanted to feel like there is a whole lot of bugs to find in this world. So to me, when I thought of bringing those out, I really wanted to sell that. For the music, there should have been a lot more, especially with the zoning and everything. But I feel like at the time we were kind of cutting it close. So we just kept with the main song, to me, which is fine. I could listen to that song the whole time, to be honest.
And we have.
Yes, and we sure have.
It's just like a lot of sound engineering in Horizon is like placing the sound and then going in and walking around and being like, okay, does this sound right? Okay, let me change some stuff.